Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy. On Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
Welcome to Inspired Conversations. This is your host, Linda Joy, publisher of Aspire Magazine, the premier inspirational magazine for women celebrating 10 years. I'm also the 6-time best-selling publisher behind the boutique publishing company, InspiredLivingPublishing.com, which is dedicated to giving visionary female entrepreneurs, coaches, and health practitioners a voice and a high-profile media and publishing platform to share their wisdom, enhance their expert status, and bring their brand out of the shadows as a published author. All my brands, including today's show, are dedicated to inspiring women to live their best lives. So welcome. I am so thrilled that you've joined me for today's show. We're going to be talking with one of my dearest friends and peers, intuitive success coach Lisa Marie Rosati, about why around the age of 40 or so, women are finding themselves feeling off balance and in many cases feeling as if they aren't living their truth and divine purpose. We'll be talking about so much more. You're in for a juicy conversation. So if you're done with living a ho-hum life that doesn't inspire and excite you and are really ready to amp it up with a little magic thrown in, then you're in the right place. Today's guest, Lisa Marie Rosati, is a leading intuitive success coach for spiritual women and soulful entrepreneurs. She's a creatrix of the Goddess Lifestyle Plan, expert columnist for Aspire Magazine, international best-selling author, and high priestess of the Goddess Lifestyle Sisterhood. Lisa's a mom of 3 and has successfully built a thriving global lifestyle business while raising her children. Isn't that what we all want? It's Lisa's passion and divine purpose to inspire and teach women how to magically create an abundant, purposeful life and prosperous business they love. Hey, beautiful, how are you? Welcome.
Good. Hello. So great to be with you and sharing space again.
Well, I always love our time together, whether it's in person or on these, in the virtual platform. I always enjoy your energy, your message, and as you know, you've been an inspiration in my life as well as a dear friend. So I'm excited about today's call because, as I talked about in the intro, Lisa, so many women are waking up in midlife, right, and find themselves feeling off balance or not living their purpose around age 40. So let's start there. Was this your journey? Is this what happened to you?
Is what happened to me, that I woke up and realized that I'm not living my purpose?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. It wasn't really that clear, actually, for me. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm not living my purpose. What happened is that I had many, many miserable experiences. And I was like, marriages imploding, just daily drama, always looking for something to make me feel better, whether it was a new certification or, a new hobby. Oh, my gosh, hobbies. Forget about that. And then I was like, what is it? There's still something off. I'm not happy. And that's the thing. What is happy? I wasn't fulfilled. That's really what it was, because happy is not a place. But feeling fulfilled, I believe that is a destination. It's something you can arrive at, is that fulfilled feeling. And I became present to that, and I surrendered to the fact that the way I was operating and doing things was not working at all.
And that's true in business, too, because you and I have known each other, God, since you were in my Inspired Living Publishing's first book, and I think that was 2010, Embracing Your Authentic Self. Yes. I watched your transformational journey as a woman, but also as a successful entrepreneur. as you stood really embracing your truth, going, no, this is who I am, you allowed yourself to unfold, uncover your gifts, and now today that's what you're helping women do. So why do you think, and in your work have you found, what is the reason so many women are waking up at this age?
Great question. Well, I believe a bunch of things are happening, because as everybody who knows me well, there's never one reason for something. It's usually the perfect recipe for disaster or the perfect recipe for success. You know, it's never like one thing you're doing. It's a culmination of a few different ingredients, so to speak, that make up what's going on. But, you know, I give a lot of thought to it, because I'm a thinker anyway. I'm an introspective thinker. And I thought long and hard about it. Like, I'm a total believer in women's empowerment. Obviously, I make my living doing it. However, being a powerful woman in her feminine is not about being a man hater. It's not about, you know, acting like a man. There's really a way to be truly powerful in your feminine. And when a woman can learn how to do that, they don't teach that stuff in school. So what happened was, about, 100 or so years ago, women had to go back to work. I believe we were like in World War II or something, and women had to hold down the fort. And we do that so well, don't we? We hold down the fort. So we put our T-shirts on, and we all went to work. And then the women's lib movement happened. And, I'm being very broad about this, but you'll get the spirit of what I'm trying to say. Women went back into the workforce, and they said, no, we are equals. We're going to work. But what happened is that we still had our instincts, which were to nurture and mama and take care of. We still had our families, and we tried to have it all, so to speak. And what happened was, there was not a lot of acceptance for the women's movement. There were many, many people, men, who were against the women's movement, and we were treated like second-class citizens. We got less pay for the same job. We were not given jobs, that sort of stuff. So what would you do if you didn't know how to really step into your powerful feminine? Well, you figure, if I'm out there with men and I'm in a man's game, I got to play like a man. So that's what women began doing. They began acting like a man. We're going to walk in. We're going to be extremely goal-focused. We're going to lead with an iron fist and all that jazz. Well, what happens is that depletes a woman. That depletes a woman. There's a difference. I always say, do not confuse my kindness with weakness. And that is, I think, it encapsulates a woman so beautifully. A woman can be soft and flowing, but let me tell you something. The element, and that corresponds to the element of water. Magically. And the element of water is very, very strong. The element of water will flow where it will flow with the least resistant path, but it will do the job. Look at the Grand Canyon. Water did that.
Well, it's funny that you said that, because so many in our circles, and from our personal conversations, that back in my other business many years ago, I think I opened back in 92, so it's going back quite a while. I wanted the outside validation, as you said, so many, like your journey was, well, what success can I have to have outside validation? What certification can I get, et cetera? And I was always looking outside myself. Yep. And that's masculine energy. Masculine energy is pushing, striving, for those who aren't used to these terms, pushing, striving, not tuning in to yourself, your truth. And for me, and I know for many women that I've had on the show, it led to physical manifestation of illness. It wasn't until, and then, Lisa, I want to talk about this because I went the other way. As I got on the spiritual path, I went so far into the feminine probably 10 years ago that I couldn't manifest anything in the physical because I wasn't in balance. And it wasn't until I came into balance, which is funny, is in my 40s, that I was able to create a successful business, have a healthy relationship, honor my body. So it was the balance between masculine and feminine energies, which, as you said, is flowing, loving, giving, nurturing. And your gift, as I've witnessed, because we've worked together and supported each other for many years, your gift is reminding, as I see it, is reminding women of the truth of who they are and their own feminine power because so many of us became disconnected from it.
True, because it's something that's not taught, and dare I say, sometimes, I listen to other people and stuff, and I look at other people's stuff. It's not taught 100%, I think, authentically, or the way it should be taught. Doing business in the feminine is finding balance.
Yes.
It's absolutely honoring your sacred feminine, your self-caring, your nurturing, your kindness, your willingness to support instead of compete, but there also has to be aligned action towards your goals, because that's truly being in your feminine. Being in your feminine is about being your most healthy and powerful version of yourself possible. And that's what I want to see women doing. It's not about flowing, and accepting, and self-care all day, every day. It's about, one of my mentors said something that resonates so deeply with me. It's such divine truth. And she said it, and I will pass it on because I hope it will serve the listeners as much as it serves me. Masculine structures support our feminine pleasures.
That's beautiful and oh so true. It's so true.
Right. It's divine truth. Without having boundaries that you guard around your work time, all right, or around your play time, nothing will get done because you're out of balance. So masculine structures support our feminine pleasures. So for me, when I work with women, it's about always moving them into balance. Not only masculine and feminine balance, but balance between all the elements, the cardinal elements, which is air,
well, let us talk about that. I want to jump right into commercial because I want to really get into that because it's so important that we talk about how the elements support us and live in our divine purpose, and how I also want to talk about some of the common symptoms that show up so women can see, is this me? So we'll be back in a moment with Lisa Marie Rosati of GoddessLifestylePlan.com.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Ladies, your story has the power to transform lives. 4-time best-selling boutique publishing company, Inspired Living Publishing, is dedicated to sharing women's stories of hope, love, and transformation with the intention to inspire and empower their readers to believe in the power of possibility. Share your story in an upcoming print or Kindle project. Visit inspiredlivingpublishing.com today.
Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Do you have time to read that inspiring book or that blog post you've been meaning to get to? In your busy world, how do you improve yourself and keep your life going? I'm Lisa Kay, and my Between Heaven and Earth radio show can transform your life just by listening. Be uplifted with inspiring topics, positive stories, and ideas that really work. Between Heaven and Earth Radio is conscious living for your soul, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. We've got more food than we know what to do with in this country, yet 17 million kids in America are struggling with hunger. Makes no sense. Luckily, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks has volunteers gathering excess food and getting it to hungry kids. They're kind of like food angels. Hey, become a food angel yourself by supporting Feeding America in your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Welcome back to Inspired Conversations. This is your host, Linda Joy, and today's special guest is Lisa Marie Rosati of GoddessLifestylePlan.com. And before the break, we were talking about being in balance with the masculine and feminine energies, but also being in balance with the natural energies of the world, in the elements. So, Lisa, let's dive back into our conversation.
Great. Okay. So I'm here. Hello. the elements, right? We left off with that. There needs to be balance between masculine and feminine energy. Of course, that's a balance between the being and the doing. All right, and then there's 4 cardinal elements that are part of the natural energies that exist, and those are air, fire, water, earth, and of course, when we combine that with spirit, with co-creation with the divine, and we have balance within all of those different archetypes and energies, we are completely in the flow, and we are our most powerful and healthy versions of ourselves possible. That's what I work very diligently with my clients to do, is help bring them into balance. Now, there is no perfect balance, and we don't stay there. And how I describe it is this. Imagine, let's just take masculine and feminine for instance. The way that I view it is that, let's just say that, imagine a man and a woman doing a tango dance, and how gorgeous that looks, because, they're showing up in their full power together. They're working together, and then, there's flow and ease and grace. Now imagine if the woman started pushing and leading, or the man started pushing the woman back and pushing her around. The dance would look clumsy. It wouldn't look graceful, and it would look kind of ugly. And that is exactly how I view how we balance ourselves with masculine and feminine energy, and also the 5 elements. Well, I consider it 5 elements because spirit is an energy for me, but the 4 cardinal elements. You want, if your life feels out of balance, really non-attractive in general, because I've had an unattractive life at many points in my life, I take a look. Where am I not flowing or working with the elements correctly? Where am I not working with masculine and feminine? And then I start to go deeper into that element. Let's just say I feel an element is out of balance. Would you like me to go into what each element corresponds to?
Yeah, and I want to talk about, so women can relate it to their lives. Like, maybe you can tie in some of the common symptoms that appear in a woman's life, and then maybe mention the element that it might correspond to, so women can see and really understand what it feels like in their own life and in their own bodies to be out of balance between the being and doing, the masculine and feminine.
Sure. So the feminine, if you tend to procrastinate, and this is not a negative. There's no positive or negative. Procrastination, there's an underlying reason for procrastination. It's usually fear of something or overwhelm, or you're not sure what to do and you're afraid to make a decision. That could be that, but non-doing and being is feminine. All right? And that's feminine in the shadow aspect, because there's a light and dark aspect to everything. So that's like what people consider an unattractive side of the feminine is like, I'll just, do this, and I'll look at Facebook, and I'll socialize, and I'll spend hours looking at a computer when I really have to organize and purge my closet, and, that, because the masculine would be purging the closet. A way that a woman goes too far into her masculine is purging her closet until 4 a.m. and getting up an hour and a half later for work. There's no balance there. There needs to be a structure. Like, I'm going to purge my closet. I'm not even going to open my computer. And I'm going to purge my closet from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Then I'm stopping at 5 p.m. wherever I am, even if it's completely not done. And I'm going to rest and then get up tomorrow morning and do it again from this time till that time. Now, you could see how a masculine structure is now supporting her being in her most healthy self.
Yeah, it's like
right?
finding balance between self-care or being and doing and getting things done. It's this, like, dance.
It is a dance, and it's something, guess what, that every day I check in on, because there's no way that you don't get to, I'm balanced and I'm here forever now. Great, I've reached balanced land. There's no such thing as that. We're living, breathing creatures, and we're energy. We are energy in physical form. So guess what? We're always leaning one way or the other way. There's no perfect balance. There's only attempting to be as balanced as possible, and you have to check in on it. It's not like you calibrate and you're there and you don't have to give it any more thought.
And what are some of the other symptoms that you've noticed in your work with, because you work with every level of entrepreneur and help them break through the blocks to success in every area of their life. So what are some of the symptoms that you see appearing over and over again?
Well, I definitely see women, they feel off balance. They feel like they're working themselves to exhaustion, and then they get sick. Because when, like we discussed, like you mentioned in the last segment, you found yourself working till the point where you were in burnout. Now that's too much fire. The element of fire is about action and passion and doing. So in order to be in balance for a woman, it's putting proper boundaries around how much they're doing. So in other words, for me, how it showed up is my workday starts at 6:30 a.m. I used to work until 10 p.m. at night, and my eyes were burning, and I was holding them open with, like, toothpicks. Okay, that was like, and I did that for a very long time because I was so determined, and here that's a masculine term, I was determined to make this business work. I was not giving, and here's the cincher for me too, and I bet you'll resonate too, Linda. I love my work so much it doesn't feel like work, which makes it a slippery slope for me.
Yes. Spiritual entrepreneurs who are here to share a big message, that's key. It's key of finding the balance, because we can't serve if we can't take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
And when you love your work, like you said, it doesn't feel like work. So 14 hours can go by. I don't feel drained, but am I in balance? Of course not. My body, my relationships, my health, it's not a healthy way to be. So yes, I can relate, and I still have I have to rein myself in, especially because I love it so much.
Me too. And that's the slippery slope part for me, and I'm sure for you and many, many of the listeners. Just because you love it doesn't mean you should do it 18 hours a day.
Yeah, because then we are out of balance in the other areas of our life, because you can't devote that much time and energy to one section of your life and honestly say that the rest of your life isn't suffering, because we all know that's not possible to attain. The other parts will suffer. So then that's not success, is it? If in my eyes. And I had to come to that.
Me too. I had to come to that. And it usually shows up as a debilitation of the body, or a dis-ease of the body in some way, shape, or form, or a breakdown of a relationship.
Yes.
Because, we could go all sorts of places with this. When for me, Big Mike, so he was very threatened. Where's my dinner? I'm married to an old-fashioned Italian guy. And he's like, where's my dinner? I'm like, I was busy working today. Why? And he felt unloved.
Yeah, because his sign of love is that. That's his love language.
Exactly. That's exactly right. He's an acts of service guy. So when I didn't have dinner for him, cooked fresh or whatever, he was like, you don't love me? And I didn't realize that's what he was saying. I just looked at it like, you are trying to block my success. So then we both took out our swords.
Yeah, and then you found out that because if we're honest with ourselves, as you and I have had to be many times in our lives, when things become out of balance, it affects everything else. And if you're not honest with yourself and look at these things as a woman, you will constantly be, you have to constantly be readjusting, reevaluating, not weekly, moment to moment. Like you said earlier, you check in with yourself every day, throughout the day.
You have to. And to tell you the truth, I've completely shifted my energy, sometimes midday, sometimes a few times a day, depending on what I'm needing in the moment, what my body, mind, and spirit is dictating that I need in that moment. But let me just actually, before I forget, because I have shiny object syndrome and I have something in my mind I want to say. That is exactly the crux of, we are holistic creatures. So what you just said is the crux of my work. First of all, women, I've determined that women have 12 key areas of their life. That's exactly my signature system in Goddess Lifestyle Alchemy. Because here's the thing, we need to be checking in. Our relation, if one area of our life is off, it affects all of the other key areas. So it's like things don't stay compartmentalized. women need to realize that we need to be mindful of the 12 key areas. That doesn't mean to be obsessive. That doesn't mean to be like looking every moment like you pointed out. No, it's about touching in and saying, you know, am I showing up to my work relationship balanced? And is this leaving time for my intimate relationship? Is this leaving time for me to feel refreshed for my children, for my community, whatever's important to you? Am I working myself to the bone and then not paying my bills on time because I'm not being mindful of my finances? You know, so you want to take a look and find balance between the areas. It's all about balance. And, you know, then there's subconscious stuff that bubbles up. We all have that subconscious stuff that's running the show. So it could get very intricate. That's why when women feel really like that's how it shows up. My life, I'm not happy. I don't feel fulfilled, and I don't even know where to begin. Right?
That's something I hear all the time. They can't.
Yep.
They know they're not happy, and this is many conversations over 10 years of owning Aspire magazine. They know they're not happy. It's this feeling. It's this pulling. But if you ask them intellectually, okay, so let's discuss why you're not happy, they can't label it because it's so insidious within them because they've let their life. They become disconnected from their inner truth, their inner wisdom, their guidance system, and I want to talk about that. So let's take a moment because I want to come back from commercial break and really dive into what we were just talking about. And also I want to hear from you what you feel stops women from stepping into their full power and strength and creating the life she desires, or as you love to call it, the goddess life. And we'll be back in a moment with Lisa Marie Rosati of GoddessLifestylePlan.com.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Beautiful one, if you're living your life by default and feeling disempowered, disconnected, and disenchanted, it's time to tap into your goddess power and use that divine energy to create the magical life of your dreams. As part of the Goddess Lifestyle Alchemy program, Creatrix Lisa Marie Rosati guides you through the 12 aspects of your life while tapping into the archetypes, the 4 elements, the divine, and practical magic. By connecting to the divine and working with universal laws, your life suddenly shifts from going through the motions and struggles to seeing divine love and purpose in all aspects of your life. If you're ready to design your magical life, visit Lisa at GoddessLifestylePlan.com for an abundance of supportive resources.
OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Circle of Hearts Radio is a sanctuary on the airwaves. Join me, Grandmother Elia, in the circle on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern as I share information to both enlighten and nourish your soul.
Me, a cat, moving in with a new human. It took a little getting used to. She has these weird games she likes to play, like this giant feather. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. It's almost like she thinks I enjoy it. But seeing how much fun she gets out of it, well, I guess it makes it all worth it. Humans.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Welcome back to Inspired Conversations with Linda Joy. This is your host, and we're going to continue our conversation with Lisa Marie Rosati. And right before the break, we were really diving in about what and why women can sometimes not be able to identify why they're not happy. They just know they're not. And I ended off by saying, Lisa, that sometimes they're so disconnected from their inner wisdom, they don't know how to tune in to get those answers. And that's what you do. You help women step into their full power, strength, and create the life she desires by going inward.
Absolutely. That's the only way. The only way through something is going in. And because we've been taught to look outside for a solution, that's a masculine thing. Let me think my way out of this. Women need to really drop down into their body and say, let me feel my way out of this. Sure, let me think a little bit, but see, the problem I find with women, and I will speak for myself, I tried to think my way out of things. You just can't. And, if I was to be truthful, I'm thinking back because it's not a behavior I actually even do anymore. I've completely trained it out of myself. But I used to actually think I could maneuver or manipulate my way out of things. I didn't, and I avoided what I really felt because I thought if I don't look at it, it won't be there.
That's powerful. And I think so many women do that because we're taught to put the happiness of others before ourselves. Happiness of our spouse, our parents, all this. Am I doing everything to be the good girl? Am I showing up the way I should show up? That they wake up in their life, like you said, in them could be 30s, but it's usually in their 40s going, how the hell did I get here? This isn't the life I want. And I'm seeing it over and over again. So for women who are feeling this yearning, knowing they're not happy, knowing they're meant for something more, whether that's creating a business, whatever their more is, what is stopping them from doing that and stepping into their full power?
Well, in a nutshell, it's usually, again, there's a few different symptoms. The symptoms all look the same. They want something, but they never actually manifest it, right?
Yes.
Let's just call it that's the symptom. That's how it shows up. It's fear. Could be fear of what if it works, or fear of what if starting my own business doesn't work? I'll look foolish. What if my business takes off and my husband feels threatened because I'm bringing in more money than him? There's a lot of subconscious work at play. Women don't go after what they want. In a nutshell, codependency. That's a very rich topic, but codependency, I literally, if you opened up a book and a dictionary and looked up the word codependency, my picture would be there. I led the band. I
really identified with that in my 20s and 30s. I used to read every book I could get my hands on, like, oh my God, that's me. Thankfully,
it was me too.
Yeah, thankfully I healed that, and
you have to heal codependency.
And it's so important because if you want to live your authentic life, you have to start going inward, as Lisa said, because it's from that place of your inner connection that you can birth your dreams and your soul purpose out into the world when you take the inspired action. And if you don't put your happiness at the top of your list, or your health and all of that at the top of your list, who is going to? Right? So you're always going to be feeling unfulfilled until you take control and take action and make decisions based on what feels good to you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to piggyback on that. Do what feels good to you and take action on what feels good to you and take action towards your desires, no matter what anybody in your life really thinks about it.
Yes. Because I was one of those women you just named, Lisa, back when I opened my first business in 92, which was a retail store. I remember the thought processes. I can remember the room and what it looked like as I was having the thought processes. That's how deep of a moment it was for me of going, who am I to think? I'm a former welfare mom. I just got off welfare 2.5 years ago. Who am I to think I can open a business? What are they going to think of me? They're going to think I'm too big for my britches. All the thoughts. And I can remember everything about that moment of thinking that. And the other side of me, it must be, I know now, was my divine guidance system saying, who are you not to?
Yep. Very, very powerful. But that's the truth for all of us. God, the divine, whoever your higher power is, you were born for greatness. And I could cry almost saying that because it took me years to really own that just knowing that everybody, even the most mean people that I have actually come across in my life, the people that have ripped apart my insides, they were really born for greatness too. And the truth of the matter is that they were here to teach me how to rise. I had to heal. I had to not allow other people's opinions or thoughts or words to stop me from my divine truth, from my soul work in the world. And I own the fact that I spent 40 years letting everybody and everything and every excuse get in the way and stop me. I wanted everybody to be okay with what I did because I was completely codependent. And I had to heal that in myself and just say, you know what? I love you, but I got to do this. I'm not doing anything that's going to jeopardize this relationship. My husband, but he's still afraid for me to go away. I don't like when you go away. Something could happen to you. And I say, I love you. You are my priority, but I'm doing this for us. You're retiring, and I want to take the lead. I want to take care of you because he's 16 years older than me. And that's how I approach him instead of like, what are you trying to take away my dreams? That would have been the old Lisa. This Lisa turns around and say, Mike, I love you. I have good situational awareness. I'm okay. Why don't you come with me? And if you can't, just know that I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this because I want to take care of you. You've taken such good care of me. I want to take care of you as you age. And let me have this fulfilling, allow me to spread my wings and fly so I could have this fulfilling experience in my life. That's how I speak now.
And there's a big difference because, because I've been part of your journey and past for so many years, I mean, I can energetically see your transformation, right, of you owning your truth, owning your value, not just as a woman, wife, mother, but as a spiritual entrepreneur and leader, too. I've watched that transformation of you going, you know what, I am here to serve, lead, and transform lives. I'm not going to play small anymore. And a lot of the gist of what the work you do is, yes, you work with women to help them create a powerful life in any area of your life, but one of your specialties is actually working with spiritual and heart-centered, mission-driven female entrepreneurial women to help them have successful lifestyle businesses. And we're going to dive into that when we come back from our final commercial break, and I'll be back in a moment with Lisa Marie Rosati of GoddessLifestylePlan.com.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Isn't it time for you to listen to your own internal compass, your intuition, rather than listening to all those around you? When you learn how to navigate using your intuition, you'll discover how to hear your soul's whispers so you live a life of purpose, joy, and abundance. Soul-wise living mentor Laura Clark provides women with the empowering tools and support to help them tame their inner critic, calm their emotions, and ground themselves so they can hear, trust, and act upon their inner guidance. If you're ready to awaken your intuition, visit soulwiseliving.com to schedule a complimentary Sacred Soul chat, read Laura's inspiring blog posts, and discover an array of free supportive resources.
Trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
This is Terry Van Horn, and I want to invite you to join me for my weekly radio show, Healing Light, on OMTimes Radio every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Healing Light, we want to bring love, light, and blessings into your world. You can find out more about us at www.healinglightonline.com. Blessings.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Welcome, welcome. I'm excited that you've come back to join me for Inspired Conversations with Linda Joy. I'm going to continue the conversation. We're having a juicy conversation with Lisa Marie Rosati. We've been talking about masculine and feminine energies, being versus doing, how to reconnect with your inner wisdom so that you can live your divine purpose and really show up in the world the way you're meant to. And before the commercial break, we were talking about, for a lot of women, that means stepping into your power as an entrepreneur. And then in this last segment, I want to talk about, Lisa, why is it so important that right now is the time for women to claim their personal power and step into their most powerful and healthy self in every area of their life, including if they're feeling called to start a business?
I'm just going to say it like my truth tells me to, because the wealth of the world needs to be in the hands of the feminine.
Oh, that's beautiful. The wealth of the world needs to be in the feminine, in the hands of the feminine.
We need to make a difference. Look around you. Look at the climate. Look at the global changes, the temperature, the climate change. Look at the wars. Look at the lives being lost. Look at the hunger.
So when women step into their power, they're able to shift the vibration and energy. So for a woman who is on the show, listening to the show right now, how does she claim her personal power? Right? What's the first step if she has a dream in her heart to do something?
The first thing for me always is starting a daily dialogue with your Creator. That's number one. That comes before anything. Whoever it is that is your higher power, your Creator, God.
I love
Goddess,
that.
nature.
Daily dialogue. And so
Daily.
that could be journaling, right? Meditation, whatever it feels good to that person.
Okay, so yes, absolutely. So here's the thing for me. I am a type A Virgo. I get up out of the morning. I'm up in the morning, and I'm shot out of a cannon. I'm not starting with my morning meditation of a half hour. I'm not even journaling. I come into my office. I do my same little ritual routine. I turn on my Himalayan salt lamp, which I love, and then I go over to my altar, which is in my office. And an altar is nothing more than a collection of things that mean something to you. So for me, that's what an altar is. At times, it's the bowl of rocks, the heart-shaped rocks that my children have given to me over the years as they were growing up. That means so much to me because it was given with innocent love from my children.
And what do you do? What do you do then? So that's your morning ritual before you even.
I go over to my altar. I light I get barefoot. I go over to my little altar, my collection of things that I love. I have a white candle, and I light the candle, and I say, show me. Guide my thoughts, my words, and my actions today to be of service. Just show me. And I go downstairs and get my coffee.
I love that. And that is your moment of being connected. For me, sometimes I like the quiet of morning, and lately it's been those adult coloring books. I'm working on one called Mandala Magic, and just that moment of slowing my mind down, being there with the drawing, I'll tell you I'm getting some of my best intuitive downloads. But other times it's listening to a guided meditation. It's whatever I feel in the moment to stay connected to my soul. So it's something that can change daily, and just allow yourself to be led. Yours sounds so beautiful, but so daily dialogue is your number one tip to really.
Then the next. Right, that has to happen because you need to. Most people pray or speak to their Creator only when the shit's hitting the fan, or if they are getting a diagnosis and they're hoping it's favorable. I mean, let's be honest.
It's true.
I know that was me. Oh my God, please God, don't let me have breast cancer because I had a scare last year. You know what I mean? And that. But I'm so grateful that is not my story anymore. That used to be my story. I'd pray only when I needed something. So then once I started the inward journey, I prayed every day. And for me, that first thing in the morning, I surrender. That's what I say. Show me is surrendering. Surrendering to God's, the divine's will to use me in any way that they see or she sees me to be used today. That's a surrendering. And that to me makes me feel as if I've handed over the reins to the gods, and now I am a tool of service. It gets me out of my own way.
Oh, I love it.
That's what that is for me. Yeah.
And what's your second step, if you have one that you do?
Definitely cleaning up your diet and lifestyle. Because here's the thing. If your diet and lifestyle is not of high quality, you're not going to have the energy or the clear-headedness or the proper drive in order to really move towards your desires. When we are receiving our downloads, a download does not come to a garbage heap. A download comes to a pure vessel. And you know this, Linda. You have your divine downloads, but you have spent the last, 10, 20, whatever years cleaning up your diet and lifestyle.
I reached out to you, remember? I reached out to you probably 3 years ago, her Sugar-Free Goddess program. I knew that I needed to get sugar out of my life, and full transparency, it's something I still struggle with. But remember, I reached out saying, okay, I need to get this shit out of my life because I personally believe, as you do, that it was weakening, never mind that it was weakening my body, but it was weakening my divine connection. It was causing static in my divine.
Absolutely.
And so that I truly believe, and everyone on this path that is successful, they will always say that it was when they cleaned up their diet and lifestyle and took out negative substances, people, energies, that's when life began to shift for them.
Absolutely, because you become a clean vessel or a pure vessel in order to receive. You know, the divine guidance, sometimes, see, there's a difference between divine guidance and a cosmic 2x4. A cosmic 2x4 is you've been eating and living like crap, and then you have a health scare. That's a cosmic 2x4. That's a wake-up call. That's a difference than divine guidance. Divine guidance comes when you are pure. Listen, the divine is the purest energy of all, right? It is white light. So you want to be a vessel that can accept that kind of divine guidance. And when we eat crappy and we live crappy, we really, I'm gonna just, here's my truth. I like to have a few cocktails at night. And what I noticed is, shouldn't say a few, like two cocktails at night. But depending on the cocktail, sometimes I get a nice buzz going. And I said, you know what? I started to put on a few pounds. And I said the alcohol has to go because I want to release those few pounds. Well, I have been sleeping better. I've noticed I sleep straight through the night, where before, if I had two, martinis, let's say, I would have an unrestful night's sleep. There is a difference. You get better rest when you live more cleanly. Of course, I go out and have fun here and there, but it does not have to be a daily occurrence. Now I have a glass of wine at dinner, and I call it a night. And I'm sleeping like a baby.
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's the best. It's the best part. And as I shared, I fall off the sugar wagon. It's something that I have to catch myself with all the time. But when I keep my diet clean, my other one was, getting rid of gluten, of how it affected me. So it's really, I love your two tips. It's daily dialogue in a way that really soothes your soul, and make it a morning ritual. I love that because it's been one of the most empowering things that I've done in my life. And number two that you shared, Lisa, was cleaning up your diet and lifestyle. And as we come to the end of our time together, I want to share with everyone a sacred invitation to learn more about everything that Lisa Marie offers at GoddessLifestylePlan.com, as well as Goddess Lifestyle. Correct me on this URL, Lisa. Goddess Lifestyle Sisterhood.com.
It's actually, it's not that. It's GoddessLifestylePlan.com/sisterhood.
That's what it is. Thank you for the correction, Lisa, because I really believe that the sisterhood is a beautiful offering for women who are ready to come into community and step into their power. It's a place where you can really be supported. But Lisa, on Lisa's site at goddesslifestyleplan.com, you'll find services, programs. You'll love her down blog posts. Follow her column at Aspire Mag with Aspire Magazine, and really take the time to connect with her. She also has a sacred offering for you currently, which is the 8 ways to activate your inner goddess that you will find when you stop by. And Lisa, as always, I love our time together, and I want to thank you for being part of the Inspired Conversations show, because your path is so aligned with mine. We're about inspiring women to live their best lives from the inside out.
So true. Well, I absolutely love hanging out with you, too. If it was a little bit later, I'd have a glass of wine. You know that. Oh, I love you, Linda. Thank you so much.
I love you, too. So everyone stop by goddesslifestyleplan.com. Learn about Lisa's sacred offerings. Take advantage of the free offering that she has available for you, waiting for you. And be sure to follow her blog, follow her on social media, because the content and the tips and strategies she puts out has supported me and my global audience for many years now, and I'm sure they will support you too. So thank you for joining me for Inspired Conversations. Listen in every Tuesday at 2 p.m. for more sacred conversations with visionary women just like Lisa, who are here to share their feminine wisdom to support you in living your best life. For even more inspiration, claim your free subscription to Aspire Magazine, which includes over 40 transformational gifts. You can do so by going to subscribe2aspire.com. Until next time, choose love, choose joy, choose happiness.
Thanks for listening to Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy. Join our sacred space every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern and meet leading female visionaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. Inspired Conversations with Linda Joy is a soulful venue where guests share the obstacles they've overcome, along with wisdom and lessons learned on their personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic and soulful living.